Here's something the casino will never say out loud. Jackpots don't just happen. They land exactly when the machine's math says they have to. If you've ever walked up to a slot and thought, this one feels ready, you were closer to the truth than you realized tonight. We're tearing open the engine that powers every slot machine on the planet. We're diving into the psychology, the programming, the manipulation, and the strategy behind the billions flowing through these reels each year. Everything you thought you knew about slots, it's wrong. And everything casinos told you, it's only half the story. This documentary isn't here to teach you how to gamble. It's here to show you how the game is built and why. Players almost never stand a chance. Let's start with the lie that makes every casino rich. Random versus programmed. The casino floor doesn't just glow, it breathes. Screens flicker like restless eyes, reels spin with mechanical confidence, and every chime feels engineered to pull you one step closer. To most people, walking in this place feels like pure chaos wrapped in neon. A world where luck reigns, fortunes shift in seconds, and anything could happen if fate decides to smile. But that's the first misunderstanding. What looks like randomness is a performance. Beneath the lights, beneath the noise, beneath the adrenaline that wraps itself around players' minds, there's a system built with surgical precision. Every machine follows a script written long before it ever touched the casino floor. The outcomes may look wild and unpredictable, but the long-term pattern is no accident. It's architecture. Casinos want you to believe you're dancing with chance. The truth is simpler and far less romantic. Chance is only the surface. The real story lives underneath, in the design you were never supposed to notice. Par sheets control everything. Behind the friendly animations, cartoon characters, and bright color palettes, every slot machine hides a secret spine, a confidential document called the par sheet. Players never see it. Casinos guard it. Regulators monitor it. And it is quite literally the machine's genetic code. This sheet decides everything long before a single player ever presses spin. It dictates how generous the game will appear, how often it hands out those small feel-good wins, how rarely it releases the big ones, how punishing or forgiving its volatility feels, and even how frequently a jackpot will surface over millions of plays. If you think of the slot machine as a living creature, the par sheet is the blueprint it follows for life. Players experience chaos. Regulators read mathematics. Casinos see certainty. Yes, each spin is random, but the lifetime behavior of the machine, every rise, every drop, every drought, every burst is carved into the numbers locked inside that par sheet. Hot and cold phases. Every gambler has lived the same moment, sitting at a machine that feels frozen, watching spin after spin drain the balance with mechanical indifference. Then, hours later, or sometimes minutes, a different machine suddenly erupts with wins, bonuses, and near miracles that feel almost personal. People swear they can sense when a machine is about to turn, as if it has moods, cycles, or some buried intention. But the truth is far more grounded. Slot machines have no memory. They don't go cold because they're angry, and they don't go hot because they're feeling generous. What gamblers are witnessing is the natural behavior of variance, unavoidable turbulence of probability, working its way toward the machine's long-term targets. When a machine pays out less than its programmed payback for a stretch, it begins to accumulate money, falling below the statistical line it was designed to follow. That downward swing doesn't mean the machine is sulking. It simply means the math is temporarily off balance. Eventually, randomness corrects itself. And when it does, it often overcorrects, producing brief surges of wins, bonuses, or jackpots that feel like a hot streak. Nothing supernatural, nothing emotional, nothing due, just mathematics pulling itself back toward equilibrium. Cold streaks intensify as the machine dips too far below its target. Hot streaks ignite as the numbers snap back upward to the player. It feels like personality. To the casino, it's just the law of large numbers, doing what it always does quietly, consistently, and without meaning. Machine placement strategy. Before a single jackpot ever flashes across a screen, the casino has already made one of its most decisive moves, where the machine will live. Placement isn't an afterthought. It's psychology in physical form. Engineered down to the aisle, machines with stronger payback percentages aren't tucked in corners, they're showcased. You'll find them along busy walkways, near buffet entrances, outside showrooms, and in the natural flow of foot traffic. Why? Because a ringing jackpot is free marketing. One loud win in a crowded aisle can pull strangers like a magnet, convincing them that luck is circulating in the air. But the convenience zones tell a different story. The The machines stationed at entrances and exits, next to ATMs by the cashier's cage, or near restrooms don't need to be generous. They earn simply because they're there. Players hit them on impulse, waiting for someone, killing time, feeling one last try. These locations rely on convenience, not payout, appeal, and the casino knows it. In this ecosystem, geography becomes strategy. The layout isn't decoration. It's design with intent. Casinos map human behavior, reward attention, exploit convenience, and turn physical placement into one more tool that shapes the player's journey. Long before the first spin even begins. Volatility differences? Two machines can look identical, but behave like entirely different creatures. The difference lies in their volatility. Low volatility machines distribute frequent small wins, keeping players engaged with a steady rhythm of reinforcement. They are designed for long sessions. High volatility machines, however, are built for emotional extremes, long droughts, followed by rare but dramatic payouts. These machines can empty a wallet quickly, but when they hit hard. Most players unknowingly pick machines based on themes or animations, unaware that volatility not liqueurs, shaping their experience from the first spin to the last dot. Asterisk slot myths debunked. Gamblers create stories to explain what they can't control. Over the decades, these stories hardened into myths that warm machines are about to pay, that casinos tighten slots when they're busy, that new machines are looser, that player cards reduce payouts. None of this is rooted in technical reality. Warm machines are warm because of electronics. Payout percentages don't fluctuate with the time of day. New machines don't magically give more than old ones. And player cards have no connection to the random number generator. These myths persist because they comfort players, giving them a sense of agency in a system designed to remove it. Recent jackpot reset behavior. Asterisk, a jackpot looks like the triumphant end of a story, but internally it marks the beginning of a new cycle. When a machine pays a major hit, its long-term mathematical balance shifts. It must return to its programmed payback percentage. That usually means a period of accumulation, a colder stretch where the machine naturally regains the money it just distributed, yet many players flock to recent winner machines, thinking they're lucky. In reality, those machines have already completed their distribution phase and are mathematically more likely to enter recovery mode. What looks like momentum is often the opposite. Asterisk, progressives and must hit by probability. Progressive jackpots create a different kind of tension. These jackpots grow with every spin until they reach a predetermined must-hit by ceiling. As the meter inches closer to that ceiling, the expected value subtly shifts. It doesn't guarantee a win, but the risk-to-reward balance becomes momentarily more favorable. Someone will eventually hit the jackpot, and as the meter approaches its upper boundary, that moment draws closer. Players who understand probability, not superstition, recognize this shift as the jackpot nears its maximum limit. It's not a loophole. It's math approaching its tipping point. Psychological engineering. Slots are psychological machines as much as mathematical ones. The sounds are engineered to manipulate emotion. Even small wins trigger celebratory tones louder than the actual payout. Near misses are programmed because they activate the same neurological pathways as actual wins, keeping players engaged. The choice of colors, reel speed, animation timing, and reward intervals is not accidental. Everything is tested and optimized to create anticipation, simulate progress, and keep dopamine flowing. In this environment, losing feels less like failing and more like almost winning, which is exactly what the designers intend. Discipline is the only real edge. No player can consistently beat the house. Not with observation, not with superstition, not with intuition. The math is permanent and undefeated. The real battle is against momentum, the push to keep playing after a win. The belief that one more spin might turn the tide after a loss. Discipline becomes the only meaningful advantage. Setting limits. Walking away after a win. Accepting lost boundaries. Knowing the difference between entertainment and compulsion. Casinos thrive because most players can't do this. The system doesn't need to cheat. It only needs you to keep spinning. My last words to you. Understanding the blueprint won't guarantee profits. That isn't its purpose. Knowledge removes illusions. It reveals the architecture behind the spectacle and exposes the mechanics casinos rely on. It empowers players to see the casino not as a mystical kingdom of luck, but as a meticulously engineered environment designed for one goal, time on machine. Somewhere in every casino, a machine is about to pay out, but it won't do so because of magic, fate, or superstition. It will do so because mathematics demands balance. The house controls the math. You control when you choose to stop playing. That final decision is the only true edge a player ever has. Asterisk, every video on this channel takes time, research, and passion. Not for views, not for clicks, but for you. If you've made it this far, then you're not just a viewer. You're part of this community. You're part of the people who actually care about truth, about understanding, about seeing the world the way it really works. So if you haven't already, please hit the like button and subscribe. It's a small gesture on your end, but it means everything on mine. It tells me you're here with us. It tells me this work matters to someone. And honestly, if we don't stay connected, you might miss the very videos I'm creating for you. So join the family. It keeps this whole thing alive.